Hi 8th graders. So if you can see up in the corner right there, I've got 19% battery. Let's see how far we can go with 19% battery before I lose my iPad privileges. So we're going to do things a little differently. I taught 7.3's lesson to you in class, so today you're going to be actually doing a homework assignment with me in this video. So what you're going to need is not a graphic organizer, but you're going to need just a plain sheet of paper, like lined paper. I do have a bunch in that wooden shelf system where my graphic organizers are. It's just to the left. So maybe grab a lined piece of paper, and at the very top of your paper, I want you to write 7.3 exercises. Oops, I spelled exercises like a goofball. Exercises. And then write your name. Basically, everything I go over with you in this video, you need to have it written down with an answer circled next to it, okay? Even if I show work, you show that work too. If I go too fast, pause the video, take some time. You should be able to keep up with me with that little pause button. All right, number 1. In a right triangle, how can you tell which sides are the legs and which side is the hypotenuse? Now remember, this is from the lesson yesterday, so you can use your notes to help you in this homework if it really doesn't make sense. But number 1's pretty easy. For example, look at this triangle. How can I tell which sides are the hypotenuse versus the legs? Well, the hypotenuse was always the longest side. Obviously, C is longer than B, and obviously C is longer than A. So maybe the best answer for number 1 is to say the hypotenuse is always the longest side. The legs are never longer than the hypotenuse. Number 2, different words, same question. Which is different? Find both of the answers. Which side is the hypotenuse? So that's a question, right? So which side is the hypotenuse? Is that the same or is that different than asking which side is the longest? Now, I would say hypotenuse and the longest side are the exact same thing. So would your answer be the same for both of these questions? Yes, they would. So let's keep reading. Which side is a leg? Okay, so far these two would give you the same answer. That would not give you the same answer. Which side is opposite the right angle? Well, here's the right angle. Which side is opposite of it? The hypotenuse. Okay, so this guy, and this guy all give you the same answer. So which is different? Right there. Which side is a leg? Okay, it says find both answers. So obviously that's one of my answers. I could say which side is a leg. It's different. Now what do you think the other one would be? Which side is the hypotenuse? Which side is the longest? Which side is opposite the right angle? Which side is a leg? This is a tough one. Which side is the hypotenuse? Which side is the longest? Which side is a leg? And which side is opposite the right angle? I would say probably the one that's the odd man out here would maybe be this one. Just because it's kind of like the only one that's not asking directly like which one's a leg, which one's the longest, which one's the hypotenuse. It just asks which side would be opposite of that. So which side is hypotenuse? Oh, that's tough, guys. Interesting. I guess on number 2, I don't think I want both answers. I think I just want the most obvious one. The most obviously one is this one. This guy is different. Okay, number 3. Find the missing length of the triangle. Ooh, this is us fun stuff. This is the juicy good stuff. Okay, so let's remember. The Pythagorean Theorem says a squared plus b squared equals the c squared. I've got my hypotenuse right here. I've got 2 legs. So in your homework, you don't have to redraw this, just literally write the equation for me. It's going to be a squared, so I don't care which side is a and which side is b, they're both legs, it doesn't matter. 21 squared plus 20 squared equals c squared. All right, 21 squared, let's ask Alexa. Alexa, what's 21 squared?
21 squared is 441.
Alexa, what's 20 squared?
20 squared is 400.
Okay, 441 plus 400 is 841. Now, how do I get that squared away from my c? Well, just like algebra, I have to do the opposite of what's happening to it, right? It's being squared. The opposite of being squared is to be square rooted, which would cancel those two out. But if I square root one side, I have to square root the other side. Alexa, what's the square root of 841?
The square root of 841 is 29.
Bada bing, bada boom. C is 29. And I can always check my work by making sure is 29 bigger or longer than either of the legs? Yes, so that means it works. I love the Pythagorean Theorem, guys. Okay, so make sure you have all of that work written down for number 3, and then we'll move on to number 4. Don't forget, utilize that pause button so that you don't get too overwhelmed. I will use some of this too to help us kind of like, clear it up. Okay, number 4, the Pythagorean Theorem. So we've got a squared, doesn't matter which one's a, 7.2 squared plus 9.6 squared equals c squared. All right, Alexa, what is 7.2 squared?
7.2 squared is 51.84.
Alexa, what is 9.6 squared?
9.6 squared is 92.16.
Oops, I didn't listen to what Alexa said at the end there. Let me ask Siri. 9.6 squared. 92.16. Okay. Okay, now we just got to combine these like terms. 51.84 plus 92.16. Ooh, this is looking pretty. Okay, now how do I get my squared away from my c? Do the opposite, which is to square root. That would cancel those two things out. I love the square root of 144, that's 12. So go ahead and circle your answer, 12. And you can always check by going back up here, is 12 bigger than 7.2 and 9.6? Yes. All right, moving on. I'm running out of battery, so we gotta just keep on plugging away until we can get as many as we can done. Number 5. Now, here's what I want you guys to start doing now that you're getting really good at it. I want you to start trying it on your own, pausing the video right now, and then pushing play and checking to see how you did. It's going to be really boring if you just sit there and watch me do it and write down what I'm doing. You'll never learn it that way. I want you to try now on your own. So pause the video, try it on your own, and then push play and see how you did. Now, this is A, that's B, this is C, so it's going to be A squared, I don't know what A is, plus B squared, which is 5.6, will equal C squared. I know what C is this time. Okay, so I need to do my squareds first. I need to do 5.6 squared and 10.6 squared. What is 5.6 squared? 5.6 squared. 31.36. 10.6 squared. 112.36. Okay, now I got to get my a squared by itself. So to do that, first I need to subtract 31.36. Ooh, this is already looking nice. Goodbye. A squared equals, this would be a 0, this would be a 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. 11 minus 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, no, 8. And 0. put my decimal. 81. Ooh, this is looking beautiful. Okay, so now to get rid of my squared, I have to do the square root. The square root of 81 is 9. Ooh, that looks like 9 equals 9. I better be careful here. It's a equals 9. And that's my answer. How'd you guys do? Hopefully you tried it on your own. That one was a little different than the other two that we've done because we were trying to get a squared, not c squared. Let's go ahead and look at 6. Okay, pause the video. Do it. Pause it. Try it on your own. Pause it. I know you're still waiting for the answer. Okay, hopefully you paused it. All right, so now we are trying to get b squared. So this would be a. That's b, and here's c, so it's going to be 9 squared plus b squared equals 15 squared. Okay, 9 squared is 81. Alexa, what is 15 squared?
15 squared is 225.
I knew that. All right, to get b squared by itself, I subtract. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, before 144. Oh my gosh, I love it when they equal nice things that I know the square root of. Square root that gets rid of the squared, so now b's by itself. Square root of 144 is 12. Which makes sense, right guys? Like, shouldn't that side, which is a leg, be shorter than this side, which is the hypotenuse? It works. It looks great. And hopefully you guys did try that one on your own. Okay. Once again, pause the video, try 7 on your own, check back with me. Looks like we're finding b again, so it's going to be 10 squared plus b squared will equal c squared, which is 26. 10 squared is 100, that's pretty easy. 26 squared. Hey Alexa, what's 26 squared?
26 squared is 676.
Ooh. Okay, to get b squared by itself, I subtract the 100, which leaves me with 576. Oh, does that equal something nice? I don't know. Square root it to get rid of this. B equals, Alexa, what is the square, oh, are you listening to me? Alexa, what is the square root of 576?
The square root of 576 is 24.
Oh, it is something pretty. All right, there's your answer. Now, does it make sense? That's a leg. Is my leg shorter than my hypotenuse? Yes, it is. We're at golden. Looking good. Okay, number 8. Oh, yowza. Fun times. Don't panic. Everything's okay. Looks like I'm looking for a leg again. Some kids will get confused when their triangles are sideways like this and say, no, Miss Ringler, this is the hypotenuse. But if you look at it, it's the side that's opposite of your right angle is the hypotenuse, right? So if I were to flip this triangle over here and this is its base and it sat up on its base like that, then you could clearly see it would look something like this. And this would be your hypotenuse, okay? So don't get it confused. That's the hypotenuse. This and this are the legs, okay? Okay, so with that being said, it's going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, well, 4 squared is 16. Alexa, what is 12 and 1/3 squared?
12.3333 squared is approximately 152.1111.
Oh, goodness, I don't think Alexa is going to be able to handle this. I need my graphing calculator, but it's at school, not where I am. Okay, so let me see if my non-scientific calculator can help me out here. So 12 and 1/3. I know that 1/3 is going to be a repeating decimal, right? That's why Alexa just told me it was approximately this. So if I take 1 divided by 3 on my calculator, that's going to get me the 1/3. So I'm going to say that plus the whole number 12. That should get me 12.3 with a hat on it, right? Now take that and square it. Okay, so yeah, Alexa's telling me it's just that, okay? And so is my calculator. That's lovely, thank you. 1 divided by, gosh, okay. So now it's going to be, subtract the 16. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so if I subtract 16 from this, we're still going to have the 1 with a hat over it. Let's make this into a 4. 6 and 6 is 12. 4 minus 1 is 3. Oh my goodness. Square root to get rid of this. A equals the square root of 136.1 repeating. Okay. Super. 1 divided by 3 is 0.33333. Weird to figure that out, but that squared was 0.11111. 0.11111 plus 136. Okay, so now on my calculator I have 136.11111. Now I want to take the square root of that. 11.6 with a hat, which is 2/3. Oh my gosh, that one was ugly. I hope you didn't do that one on your own. That one's terrible. All right, well, that's the answer. Gross, I know. I probably will never give you one like that. All right, let's do number 9. Describe and correct the error in finding the missing length of the triangle. Okay, so here's what a kid did. A kid said, all right, I'm going to find that leg, okay? So I know the formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Good job, kid. You got that part right. Then they said, okay, this is going to be my a squared, and it's 7 squared. And then this is going to be my b squared. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Friends, that's not a leg. That's a leg. What they did is they said b squared for the hypotenuse, which they should not have done that. They should have stuck the hypotenuse right here where the hypotenuse lives, right? Okay, so can we describe that error? You can say, the student put 25 feet in for one of the legs, not in for the hypotenuse where it should have gone. Now let's correct the error. So it should be 7 squared plus b squared equals 25 squared. 7 squared is 49. Alexa, what is 25 squared?
25 squared is 625.
Okay, subtract the 49. Alexa, what is 625 minus 49?
625 minus 49 is 576.
All right, and then square root that. Alexa, what is the square root of 576?
The square root of 576 is 24.
Okay. Oops, I meant b. b equals 24. And now that would make more sense, right? Because shouldn't the leg be shorter than the hypotenuse? Yes. Okay. Last question. Number 10. Quick reminder before we do number 10. Hopefully you guys are writing all of this down because you are turning this in for points. It'll be worth 10 points. All right, number 10. How long is the wire that supports the tree? Okay, well, I know that the tree that's a leg, and I know that's a leg, and I know that the long one is the hypotenuse. So, let's see here. We're going to have 5.6 squared plus 3.3 squared equals c squared. All right, handy dandy calculator. Let's see, 5.6 squared is 31.36. And now let's do 3.3 squared. That is 10.89. And all of that together will equal c squared. Okay, so now just combine your like terms. I've got 10.89. I'm going to add 31.36 to it. And that gets me 42.25. Square root to get rid of that squared. So now I want to find the square root of that little sucker, and it will be 6.5. So that length is 6.5. Does it make sense? Yes, because that's 5.6. Okay, sweet. Okay, so far we've done 10 questions, right? And I thought we were going to stop there. But I kind of want you guys to struggle and figure out 11 on your own. It says find the missing length of the figure. It wants to know what this length right here to here is. Now, use your Pythagorean theorem to help you. This is a square next to my triangle. I know this because all the sides are the same length. They show me that. Which means if that side is 12, isn't this side 12? If I know the hypotenuse is 20 and I know that leg is 12, can't I find this leg because it's a square, it's a right triangle? Yes. So here is your question to see if you can get your full 11 points on this homework, okay? You're going to do 11 on your own. I just want to know what x equals. Use the Pythagorean theorem that we've been using to solve. All right, good luck. Make sure your name's on it. If you're done, you may turn this in. See you soon.